Well, a defeat for Ipswich Town at the New York Stadium today. 1-0 defeat to Rotherham. Mike, what did you make of that one? It's another frustrating afternoon, isn't it, for the Blues?
Well, very frustrating, Stuart. I mean, obviously, thought the first half was, loved the first half, very competitive. I mean, at half-time, we sort of looked at each other and we said, that was a good first half of football. Both teams were really going for it. First 15 minutes particularly, it was like, wow, it was really intense. I mean, both teams were really hammer and tong. And Ipswich were holding their own. Ipswich were fine. They were giving as good as they got. Of course, James Norwood, you tell me about it, Stu. I'll tell you, you tell me. I mean, gosh, what a chance.
I think if that goes in and it's a really big miss, and of everyone you'd want on the end of that chance, it probably would be James Norwood, but he just completely miscues it from 6 yards out. It was a wonderful move from Ipswich. Played their way out of a deep area. Luco's ball over the top. Burns cut back. And he somehow puts it wide from 6 yards out, head in hands. And I think if that goes in, it's a completely different afternoon because there's a huge amount of pressure on Rotherham going into this game. 3 straight defeats. They'd slipped out of the top 2. And that could have changed the whole atmosphere around this place. But it doesn't go in. And Ipswich, as we keep seeing sort of through this theme, can't score when they're on top. And that left the door open for Rotherham. And the second half was a completely different half of football, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I spoke to Wes Burns afterwards, and Wes was just like, we just got to score when we're on top. We've got to take these chances. We've got to have killer instinct, as the words he used. And you're right, Stu. I mean, the second half, to be fair, Rotherham, Wes Burns said they squeezed them a lot tighter second half, and they did. And to be fair, Rotherham, they were good second half. I imagine they got a little bit of a talking to, I imagine, it's half time, because they were a different side, weren't they, Stu? Or Ipswich was certainly a lot poorer because of it. I mean, Rotherham were really on it.
Yeah, I think that was more to do with Rotherham upping their game than Ipswich getting worse. Rotherham were Rotherham in that second half. What the team that we've seen in the first season down in League One, the team that we saw at Portman Road earlier in this season, direct, physical, they squeeze you, they put the ball on top of you, they made it a set-piece game, and ultimately Ipswich caved to a set piece, a throw-in into the box, a set piece, which they just didn't deal with. And young Elkan Baggott, who we'll talk about in a minute, made a really good block, but Michael Smith,
he pulls off people. He did it in the first half. A corner came over and he pulls off people. He did the same then. He just watched what was going on and just pulled away. And the ball ricocheted to him. I mean, he got fortunate. Took it well, though. I mean, a top striker like him.
25th goal of the season for him. And
he hasn't scored since February, so there you go. He suddenly decides he's going to score in April, so there you go. That's great for us.
It was a game on TV.
Yeah.
It was Rotherham.
Yeah. Go on, give us a stat, Stu. Give us a TV
It was always going to be a defeat, wasn't it? I mean, what's that? 3 wins in 35 on TV now. I think Sky had a little pop at us, didn't they? I've had a couple of text messages to say that we've been trying to blame it on Sky. We've only ever said it was on TV. Sky, we know the Barrow defeat was on ITV, but
I've got BT myself.
Have you? Okay.
That's neither here nor there.
Well, the TV curse strikes again. It's a 4th straight defeat to Rotherham, and today's. It's just a little reminder of the work ahead for Kieran McKenna to turn Ipswich Town into the winning machine that they need to be in League One next season. That's one win in 6 for Ipswich at a time of the season when they really needed to build a bit of momentum. So,
and finally, Mr. Baggott, you mentioned him, Stu. I thought he had a great debut. I mean, you should be really proud of that. I mean, it's a big game to come into against a big, strong team who really got everything to play for. And I thought Elkan Baggott, was excellent. Wolfenden was excellent, but Elkan Baggott was excellent. To see young players like them standing up to the likes of Michael Smith, who's such a strong player. Credit to Elkan Baggott. It's a great future ahead of him. Get him signed up for half a dozen years, Stu, I say.
Yeah. I'll talk about baptism of fire, like you say. Rotherham away against Michael Smith, making your league debut. That could have been tough, but he came through that. I thought he could be really pleased with his performance today. So that was a big positive to take from it. But Ipswich, lots to like. Need to be more clinical. Need to be better at set pieces, both forwards and defending. Work to do going into the summer, but 3 more to go. Starting with Wigan at home on Tuesday night.